Hello friends, Jana here, and today we are going to make a super cute Thanksgiving themed gift card holder. Sometimes you just need that little something to give to a hostess, to a teacher, to a friend, send off to family, or faraway friends. So let's get started. Today I am using the Fall Pumpkin Patch Critters stamp set. Aren't they cute? So many things and so many little extras too, along with the sentiments. And I'm also using the Pumpkin Breeze paper pad. This is a 6x6 paper pad that has 12 different patterns. So it's 24 double-sided pieces, 4 of each design. So you get a lot of options. So let's get started. I've done some cutting just to save time because y'all don't want to watch me cut paper. And all of the cutting instructions and everything will be included. So we're going to start with just a regular card base. And this is a pretty thick, this is a 100-pound Neenah. And then my first layer I cut is the same size as my card base. So it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So let's go ahead. Isn't that pretty? I hate when I have to choose which side of the pretty paper to use. And we're gonna glue this down. And we're just gonna center this on our piece of paper. And let's give it a little smush just to make sure all our glue is smushed out. And then our first layer, our first base layer, we're using this super cute polka dot that's got all little different bits and pieces inside, and it's got glitter on the other side. But we're going to use the polka dot side because who doesn't love polka dots? All right, so let's get this lined up, and it's got a really thin border. If you want a larger border, just cut your base layer, first layer here, an 1/8 of an inch bigger. All right, so we're gonna set this aside for a minute. This is our base card. Then we've got a little flapper thing, Z-fold, that is going to go on top. That's gonna hide our gift card. So I'm gonna bring out my little score pal, and we are gonna score at 3 1/4. And this piece is 9 3/4 by 4 1/2. And it's just a fairly heavy coordinating cardstock. You know, you could use pattern paper, you can use whatever you want. It's your design. So we're going to score at 3 1/4. And then we're going to turn and flip. And we're going to score at 3 1/4. So we've got a mountain fold and a valley fold. All right, let's go ahead and get these nice and creased. Make sure they're lined up nicely. And then this one will go the other way. And this is a great way to use up some, maybe you've got little scraps of paper. It'd be fun if you've got grandkids to have them come help you decorate. And I've already pre-colored all of my pieces. I love these guys. I could sit and color them all day long. They're so cute, and there's so many options the way you could, color ways that you could decorate them. So this is our little, this is gonna go on here, and it comes out like this. And we're gonna hide our little gift card inside, but we're gonna decorate the front of this. So I'm gonna go through my papers I have here, and I always kind of audition paper to see. I love this one. And so on top of that is going to be this. I don't know if that gets lost. And it's just a layer, so maybe we'll save the pretty one. Let's try the stripes. I think the stripes are going to be it. Yes. They are perfect. So we are going to cut this layer, and you actually get to watch me cut this layer. We are going to cut this layer at 4 1/8 by 3 1/8. And I want my stripes going, I think I want my stripes going across. So we're going to go to 3 1/8 and give a little slicey slice, and then 4 1/8. And that makes our first layer here on our Z-fold, our little gift card holder. And then we need, so then on my next layer here, I'm gonna save this one. I think we'll go with our pumpkin, our fall scene here, and it's got little birds. The closer you look, the more you start to see more things within the design, and I absolutely love that. There's so much detail. So we're gonna go to 3 1/8. And again, if you want a larger border, you know, just cut your layers a little smaller. I just like a nice kind of tight little border. And then we've got one more to cut, which is going to be our little gift card holder. And I love this paper. It's plain on the other side, but it's got these soft little leaves on here, and they just make it, when you want a pattern paper but not a pattern paper, it's perfect. All right, so we're gonna cut that at 1 7/8. And yes, there are lots of 8ths because again, I like the little borders. All right, so let's glue these down. But I thought this would be a great gift for, you know, especially teachers at the end of, you know, beginning of Thanksgiving break is kind of the first break in the school year, the big break in the school year for teachers. They deserve a little something extra. All right, so our next one is going to be, and look, we got those little birds perfectly. And we're just going to let that paper be its own spotlight. We're not going to add anything to it because it's perfect as it is. So we're just going to line that up with the other side there. And then our little strip, which is going to hold our gift card. So on this, we're just going to put a little line of glue right around the side. And I do use a liquid adhesive. You could do a really thin layer of like tape, tear tape, if it's narrow, so that you want your card to be able to still fit inside there. All right, so we got just a little thin layer, and we'll get this on. We're gonna let this kind of dry. I'm gonna give it a little smush, especially on these big pieces, just to make sure the glue is spread out. So there, this is what the front of our card is gonna look like so far. All right, let's move on to we have a belly band, which is gonna hold it closed. And on that, I've got these two coordinating papers. And so we're gonna make a little design for our front of our thing there. And I'm using the bear, and I think I'm gonna turn it. And we're gonna put some pumpkins with him here, and then we're gonna stamp a little sentiment to go with it from the set that says, "Hey Pumpkin," which I thought was cute. So we're gonna turn this and go sideways. So we're gonna put our first layer down. We're just gonna center that within our larger one, and you could use any shape, size, whatever you want for your design, depending on, you know, which stamps you use or how you want to decorate. All right, let's get this part glued down so we can do our belly band. And this is a fairly quick, if you do your, you know, do a little prep work, it goes together pretty quickly. And we are just going to center this in our card. And I use a liquid adhesive because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room. And that looks pretty good. So now we're gonna measure our belly band, and it's cut at 1.5 by 11. So we're just gonna fold it loosely. We don't want it super tight because you want your recipient to be able to slide it on and off. And I don't know if we're gonna need to trim, and you're not gonna want to like really score it tightly. So I just kind of gently press, and then we are gonna line up our ends here. So we'll give this a little glue and get this end here. And then we'll make sure that these line up. And we're just gonna hold this for a second and make sure that everything is stuck down nicely. And then I'm gonna center just to kind of see. Okay, let's get our bear and our pumpkins. Get him glued on, and I colored him with Copic markers. And I did his little scarf to coordinate with the blue-green colors in all the papers. And all the other little critters have matching, or coordinating, I should say, scarves that go with them. Give him a little pumpkin there. There we go. All right, and then I just have a little scrap of paper here. And let me grab my stamp set, and we're just going to use this little Hey Pumpkin. This one says, "You are sweet as pumpkin pie," and then "I love fall most of all." But I thought because he has his little pumpkins that we'll just use the Hey Pumpkin sentiment. Make sure we don't get it curvy though. And it's new, so I'm going to give it a little. I didn't get that on there very straight. I'm not used to using stamp block anymore. There we go. And I'm just using a black ink. And perfect. Perfect, perfect. All right, and let's clean this real quick before I forget, and so I don't lose my piece. I'll do that often. I'll leave them in the, in my stamp positioner and forget where they are, and then I go to use it, and I'm like, oh man, I can't find it because I forgot to put it away. So there we go, we got that put away. Got our little card here. Just clean off my table real quick. All right, so we've got our card that opens out. Our little gift card will fit right in there. Coffee, Cracker Barrel, so they can get a meal, whatever you want to include. All right, let's get this on here. And I'm just going to put some glue down the center, and then center this on my band. And I'm going to slide it on real quick just to make sure that it centers. See, this is what I was talking about. You don't want it too tight. I always have to fuss with it for a minute. We're going to take that off. There we go. There, just had to get that corner in. It's not tight, it's just not folded the right way. All right, so that's centered. Now let's make sure that he's centered. Slide that over. There we go. All right, now let's trim our sentiment. And we're going to make it into kind of a little banner, a little flag. So we're just going to cut we'll trim this side so they're even. And you could embellish the front however you like. You could put some little, rhinestones, some pearls. So then we're just going to trim a little flag. And we're going to trim the other side. And this is kind of bulky, so to mail it would cost you a little extra because it is heavier and it's thicker. All right, we're going to put it sideways on there. All right, so there is our belly band. Is done. Now let's decorate this a little bit with his little friends. These little critters are the best. So let's give him a little stump. And I got a pumpkin over here. So we'll put the little squirrel up here on the stump. And we'll give him some little acorns that have fallen. And then over here, we're going to put our raccoon with some pumpkins. We'll leave the pumpkins out. And some little mushrooms. There. All right, now let's get these glued down, and we are almost done. Oops. I love these, and it's kind of like a gift. There's so much to it that it's kind of like giving a present. It's a card, but it's more than just a card. And these little critters, maybe it's not Thanksgiving-ish, but you could always make it fall. Happy fall. Maybe they don't celebrate Halloween or they don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but this is still appropriate for any occasion. All right, get our little acorns on there. And you could add something else here, but then we got a little tail sticking out. That's your little surprise. You still have all this inside to write your message. So let's put our card on. That went on a lot easier. There we go. And there is your gift card holder. Super fun, great way to use these amazing pattern papers. Again, it was Pumpkin Breeze is the pattern paper, and the set was the Fall Pumpkin Critters. Pumpkin Patch Critters. And there's a rabbit, a squirrel, a fox. So you have all sorts of goodies to go with them. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time.